Switched souls with the school bully, worried he'd mess up my shot at a top-tier college. I kept him locked by my side, forcing him to study like a Yandere tutor on a mission. The day before the college entrance exam, we switched back, after the school bully got into a decent university. His mum wired me 10 million for training my son like a dog. Bravo, daughter-in-law. Ran into the bully downstairs. We both fell and accidentally kissed. Bam, soul switch. I became Jason, the notorious rich kid bully feared across campus. His gang scrambled to lift me up. "You okay, boss?" One of them teased Jason. "Class rep, throwing yourself at the boss like that." Jason kicked him in the crotch. "Your junk connected to your mouth or what? Just spewing garbage now." Everyone froze. I froze. Then Jason's eyes gleamed, lips curled, stomped dramatically and grabbed me. "Babe, say something, babe." Realization dawned. Sis-in-law? Nothing's scarier than a fool having a bright idea. I barely knew Jason. Just that he was a spoiled heir with a hot temper and flashy looks, totally not my type, and way out of my league. With 6 months left before the college entrance exam, if he flunked out and I got stuck back in my body, everything I did to get into a top university would go to waste. When no one was around, I cornered him with my height advantage, slamming a hand against the wall. "Let's fall again. Maybe we'll switch back." The fearsome bully blushed. "Okay," I said. "We need to land with me on top this time." He turned even redder. This position talk is so confusing." Was he always this? Suggestive. We fell again. No luck. I figured we were missing something. Our lips touched last time. Maybe that's the real trigger. Without waiting, I leaned in. He dodged like crazy. "This isn't right. You're underage." "Cut the crap!" I grabbed the back of his head and kissed him hard. "No!" Jason screamed like I was about to do something unspeakable. A passerby gasped. "You beast! Let go of that girl!" I frowned and looked up. The man's tone flipped instantly. "Oh shoot, Jason, sir. My bad." He patted his sleeves and slipped away. Guess I'd kiss him some other time. Back in class, Jason had just sat down when he glared at my desk mate, Tony. "What the hell are you looking at? Want me to gouge your eyes out?" Crap. I forgot Jason and the campus heartthrob were mortal enemies. I yanked Jason by the collar. "Shut it." Everyone around us stared. I quickly added, "Baby, you're not allowed to look at other guys." Tony and the others were too stunned to speak. I made a blood oath to the homeroom teacher, becoming Jason's desk mate. But every class, he'd zone out, eyes glazed, completely out of it. I kept nudging his arm, patting his face, smearing medicated oil on him, stuffing mints in his mouth. He just slept soundly, drooling all over the desk. Halfway through class, he was so deep asleep his tank top strap slipped down. I reached into his shirt to fix it. After class, the whole room was giving me weird looks. I eavesdropped. Yo, the school bully was all over the class rep. Touching her face 1 minute, hand the next. Gave her mints, rubbed her temples. Even had his hand inside her shirt. "Where's Justice?" After school, I got cornered by some punks in an alley. A bleached blonde challenged me. "You got the same dye job as me? Think you're hot stuff?" Jason kicked him mid-air. I caught him bridal style. "Don't lift your leg, your skirt'll ride up." Blondie spat. "Damn it! I came to fight, not watch a rom-com." I gave them a bored look and said coolly, "You want me to get my hands dirty?" Then I told the bodyguards behind me, "Pick a blind spot. Just rough them up enough for a minor disability claim." Blondie turned pale and fled, howling, "Screw this! No more fighting rich kids who know the law." Jason's cronies were shocked. "Holy crap, boss! When'd you grow a brain?" I'd made it into the top provincial school from a tiny town and lived in a cheap rental near campus. Jason took one look and refused to stay. He hopped in a Bentley and took me to his luxury apartment, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, all to himself with a butler waiting. Young master brought a guest home? I stayed in character, scowled and said, "You talk too much." The butler ran off crying. Jason looked stunned. "You yelled at my grandpa's butler?" After dinner, I said to Jason, "Shower first, then study." He got shifty. "I've got plans with some bros tonight. Might not have time." His buddy video called. I answered, "Sorry, my wife's strict. Count me out from now on." Hung up. "What are you staring at? Go shower." I rolled up my sleeves and shoved him into the bathroom. "Here, I'll wash you." Jason looked horrified. I closed the door. He gulped. I can wash myself." "So what? You already saw and touched everything." I told him to close his eyes. "Open 'em and you die." He was so nervous his breathing turned ragged but obeyed. I walked over, long fingers lifting his uniform. Hands up. He hesitantly raised them. I stripped off his outerwear, reached behind to unhook his inner shirt. The release made him whimper. I clicked my tongue. "Cut the moaning!" He sounded pitiful. It made the noise on its own. I couldn't stop it. By the time he was fully undressed, his face was red as a tomato. I turned on the shower and pulled him under. Wash, scrub, rinse. Before studying, we briefly shared our family backgrounds. Jason had been pretty anti-school, but as soon as I finished, he suddenly became desperate to learn. "What if we switch back after the exam? I can't ruin your future." I never realized how poor a regular student's self-control could be. Once Jason started studying, everything became a distraction. Water breaks, bathroom trips, trimming nails, face masks. I had already finished 3 practice tests while he was still dabbing on eye cream. Jason was in despair. "Isabel, will you just keep me as your sugar baby?" I replied seriously. "Thanks, but no thanks. I'm not into narcissists, not into the fours, and I'm straight. You don't meet a single criterion for being kept." Then I yanked the belt from my waist, tied up Jason's feet, and pinned him to the chair. "Sorry, but from today on, I'm gonna force you to study." The next morning, he showed up to early class with dark circles under his eyes. "You really went at it last night. I barely slept. You yanked me out of bed at 5 and kept going. You're gonna ruin me at this rate. We seriously can't go that hard again tonight. My body won't survive." The school bully, usually foul-mouthed, now full of grudges. I calmly analyzed. "Based on last night's diagnostics, I think you've got potential. So tonight we continue. I want to develop you to your fullest." I grabbed his phone and booked elite tutors. Jason glanced at the screen and lost it. "A 1 of 3 session tonight. I'm gonna die." I coaxed him patiently. "You'll be fine. We'll take it slow. Once you're used to it, we'll level up to 3+3. After class, 2 trembling students in the front row raised their hands. "Teacher, can we switch seats?" Ever since the soul swap, Jason seemed to really be enjoying himself, like he was fulfilling some long-held dream. Every day he dressed up meticulously, from hair to nail beds, the full aura of a pampered heiress. Money really does nourish you. I used to be pale and sickly, but under his care, my skin was glowing. When he heard I had period cramps, he started eating durian and doing moxibustion in advance, and I got through the cycle just fine. Funny, he never cared this much, even when he was a guy. I dyed my yellow-blonde hair back to black, let down the slicked-back style for soft bangs, took out the earrings, and put on a fresh school uniform. My vibe completely changed, attracting a wave of new fans. Reformed bad boy turned stoic campus prince. "See? A girlfriend is the best cosmetic surgeon." He even helped a girl reach for a book in the library swoon. Class reps training is on another level. Jason loved wearing short skirts, which made him a mosquito magnet. He'd always scratch himself raw. I had to carry bug spray and dab ointment on his bites the moment they appeared. He forgot he was shorter now and kept climbing things. I was terrified he'd fall and scar my body, so I ended up carrying him around like a porcelain doll. Today, he came to school looking like a delicious little cupcake again. I couldn't help but advise him, You should look like a student. Don't put so much effort into dressing up, he retorted. If you dress like a nun when you're blooming, won't you regret it when you're old and trying to act young? Worse, dressed like that, he always got hit on by guys asking for his WeChat. He moved recklessly and flashed people constantly. I had no peace of mind, trailing behind him all day, tugging his skirt down. Every time he bent over, I had to block the view. I was going insane. I can't take this anymore. Are you trying to kill me by flashing everyone in that outfit? Can't you stop dressing like that? I'm begging you. I often saw students jotting things down in little notebooks. Curious, I peeked. Elite succubus dog training secrets. After school, I suggested we kiss again and see if we could switch back. I couldn't take this life another day, Jason agreed. We recreated the scene, falling to the floor. He accurately collided with my lips. Nothing happened. I was disappointed. Again. Harder this time. Jason said. No, it's pointless. I panicked, grabbed the back of his head, puckered up, and went for it. You won't know till you try. He started yelling again. Stop! No! Suddenly, a fancy lady burst through the door. I recognized her from photos Jason's mother. Panicking, I blurted, Mom, I can explain. Right then, Jason had another brainwave. He buried his face in my pecs, rubbing all over. Oh, no. How embarrassing. We were just getting to the good part. His mum was stunned, stepped back, then quietly closed the door. Sorry for interrupting you two. Then she mailed us a whole box of ultra-thin ones. I was like, what kind of messed up family is this? Does no one parent their kid? Jason and I had been sleeping in separate rooms, but lately I'd noticed he kept sneaking up at night to play on his phone. No wonder he was so out of it in class. Jason admitted his fault sincerely and handed over the phone. I really do want to study hard, but my self-control sucks. Please supervise me, restrain me, help me get better grades. I was glad to hear that, but my methods might be a bit intense. Can you handle it? Then, let's set a safe word. If I really can't take it, I'll say that. What's the word? Let's go with baby, Jason mumbled. Because, unless it's a last resort, I'd be too embarrassed to say it. I agreed. That very night, he knocked on my door at 2 a.m. Baby, let me play on my phone just a little bit. I'm craving it, baby. Get lost, damn it. Even without midnight screen time, Jason still looked exhausted in class. Turned out he was sugar sensitive, with carb crashes. I adjusted his diet, but it didn't help much. After class, I secretly followed him, caught him outside a convenience store, shamelessly tugging Tony's sleeve and calling him Big Bro. Can you buy me a strawberry cake? Pretty please. He had the school heartthrob wrapped around his finger. Tony was beaming as he offered every cake on the shelf. Won't your boyfriend mind if I buy you stuff like this? Jason batted his lashes. So sad. Just because I have a boyfriend, I can't eat a little cake from Big Bro. Tony was fired up. Who says so? What else do you want? I'll buy everything for you. Then a shadow fell over them both. I sneered at Jason. Enjoying your little snack, baby? He went pale, shoved the cake into Tony's arms. I told him no. He insisted on buying it. Tony panicked. Isabel, I glared at Jason. If I catch you sneaking snacks again, you're not sleeping a wink that night. The classmates were screaming. Ah, the dark mode school bully and his forceful love so hot. Meanwhile, I was crying inside. Why are disobedient, failing students so damn hard to manage? As the weather turned cold, Jason became impossible to get out of bed. Before bed, he laid out a whip, a collar, and a little chain. Please take care of me in the morning. Next day, I tried everything, but he just lay there enjoying it, refusing to get up. Motto. Furious, I grabbed him and shoved his face into a sink full of cold water. gripping his long hair. "You awake now?" He shivered, eyes gleaming with pleasure. "That kind of force feels amazing." The kid loved gaming. He'd vanish right after school. I'd catch him at the internet cafe in various poses. Princess carry, koala grab, over-the-shoulder toss, then throw him into the car and drag him home for forced study time. Jason's grades were improving fast. Before, when he asked me questions, he'd say, "Why's the answer like this? Can't it be changed?" I'd say, "No." "Why not?" "Because it's a formula, baby." Now, at least he could talk math with me. After a test, we compared answers. "That last question gave a huge number," I said. He looked at me with innocent dumb eyes. "Huh? Wasn't it a single digit?" During break, I saw him heatedly chatting with a group of top students. I felt proud, thinking they were discussing the final physics problem. I walked over. They were trading Genshin Impact gacha tips. Jason hit a plateau. A little more push, and he'd level up fast, so I got even stricter. "How did you mess up such an easy problem?" Hands out. I smacked his palm with a ruler. His skin was delicate, turned red immediately. He looked at me, eyes rimmed with tears. "I'm so tired. I want to rest this weekend." I leaned close, gripped the back of his neck, and forced him to look at the math sheet. "Look at all those red X's. You think you deserve a break?" I flipped open his English book. "Have you memorized your vocab? Don't make me test you hard." Then, pointed to his homework. 6 worksheets per subject done yet. And you dare ask for time off? Huh? Answer me." I whispered in his ear. 1 point on the college entrance exam can place you ahead of 1,000 people. Count it. How many points did you lose just on this page? His fingers trembling, he picked up his pen again. "I'm gonna do practice problems." I patted his head. "Good boy." Jason's phone time got slashed again. He acted obedient but kept sneaking off, saying he needed help from classmates. Then he'd sit there half a day and never come back. I couldn't help following him. Found him hunched over his phone while Tony doted on him, sneaking a meat floss cake into his mouth. "Take it slow. Big bro's got plenty more where that came from." Jason, the repeat offender, was sneakier than Tony. As soon as he caught sight of my pant leg, he quickly stuffed the phone under the desk. I leaned down and asked, "What are you two doing?" Tony awkwardly redirected the cake into his own mouth. "Studying." Jason nodded solemnly. Then, from under the desk, came a crisp notification. Timmy onlookers gasped. "Oh, quit playing with that damn phone already." I yanked Jason from beside the school heartthrob. "You naughty little brat, tonight you're getting punished." Then glared at Tony. "Back off from my woman, or I'll plaster your face on the campus confession wall as a cheating homewrecker." Tony was stunned. I realized elite tutors were useless now. Jason looked present, but mentally, he was already off in honor of kings. Luckily, I was done with my own review and could tutor him personally. Jason clung to my leg in tears. "I swear I'll listen to the teacher. Just don't teach me yourself. I'm scared." "Ode to the Red Cliff. Miss even one character," I whispered in his ear, "and I'll punish you real good." Gotta admit, he was terrible at memorizing. I pulled out the ruler again. "Bend over. Lift your skirt." Smack, 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 Jason crumpled instantly. I walked him through the logic once, and he finally got it recited perfectly. "I'm exhausted. Let me nap." "You kidding me, baby?" I yanked his skirt ribbon and dragged him back to his seat. "That was just warm up. The real show's just getting started." After a while of hardcore tutoring, Jason collapsed onto the desk, gasping. Teacher, please stop feeding me. I'm full. I really can't digest any more knowledge." I coaxed him gently. "You're gifted. You can take it. Come on, sit up. Let me stuff a little more into that brain." "No. Please, I can't. I really can't." "Yes, you can, baby. Be good." The cafeteria auntie had been making all his favorite dishes lately, but Jason had no appetite. He looked drained, oily hair, face breaking out. You could tell he was really trying. One day, he broke down again. Maybe I should just deposit 80 million into Isabel's account. Make it a notarized gift. Then no matter if we ever switch back, neither of us has to suffer anymore. He grabbed my hands, eyes desperate. We both deserve a bright future. I pointed upward. But Mommy in heaven would see. Jason panicked. I was joking. I didn't say the safe word. I was just venting. Let's keep studying. I'm sorry, Jason. I always thought studying was easy. I didn't realize how hard it was for a regular kid to improve. I truly felt sorry. A young master with rich parents never needed to suffer like this. Jason worked so hard for me. I was just so scared that if I don't get into a good university, I won't make enough money. I really don't want to hear those words from my dad's mouth again, Jason asked softly. What words? I was back in that summer after my high school entrance exam, when my mum was diagnosed with terminal cancer and calmly asked the doctor, if we don't treat it, what happens? Since then, Jason had thrown himself into studying. The day before the big exam, school gave us the day off. We played motion sensor games on a 100-inch TV to relax. He got too excited and crashed into me. We fell. His mouth hit mine and busted my lip, tasted blood. But when we stood up, I was shorter again. We were back in our own bodies. Jason was over the moon. So bleeding from a bite was the secret trigger. Whatever it was, I didn't want to test it again. I just prayed we'd never swap again. As I walked out of the exam hall after the final test, I finally let out a deep sigh of relief. We made it. Time to pack up and move out of Jason's house. His eyes were red as he grabbed my hand. Can you not leave? I told him no. The exams were over. I had to go back home and work. My wheat's ready to harvest. Then I'll help you. His ulterior motives were written all over his face. I refused. Different worlds. Don't force it. Next thing I knew, he already had his suitcase packed. Says who? I can squeeze in. So I took Jason back to my rural hometown. My dad set off a string of firecrackers and laid out a feast, which made me embarrassed. Dad, you're supposed to save that for when someone brings home a wife. He's just a friend. My dad looked confused. Huh? I thought he was your boyfriend. Jason shamelessly added, soon will be, Dad. The young master began his rural transformation journey. First, he got chased by geese, then fainted at the sight of a longhorn beetle, nearly burned down the firewood shed checking out the stove, tried harvesting wheat and sliced his hand open. Then he called in a combine harvester without telling anyone but the field was on a slope, so the machine flipped. With the drought already hurting our yield, we ended up losing money. My dad was devastated. He told Jason, just go home, son. Please go home. Our egg-laying hens were getting wiped out by the day, but Jason refused to leave. He said the countryside was amazing, like a real-life Stardew Valley. I felt like he was some stray dog. Give him one bone and he'd cling to you forever. The moment you tried to shoo him off, he'd look at you with those "don't abandon me" eyes, trying desperately to win you back. The mosquitoes were brutal. In the middle of the night, Jason kept whimpering from the bites. I applied ointment for him, scratched his itches, but damn, whatever general was commanding those mosquitoes had killer aim. His neck, his abs, his waist dimples. Finally, Jason muttered, "Stop scratching. I'm starting to feel something." Then he awkwardly turned away. I got it immediately. Suppressing the urge, huh? How do you know? I blushed. I've lived in that body for 6 months. How could I not? He suddenly looked flustered. Wait then, you? Oh, shut up! I quickly sealed his lips with mine, and, well, kissing led to more. His hands weren't exactly innocent either, and I ended up making some not-so-decent noises. Even in the heat of the moment, he tried to clear his name. Not my fault, okay? Your body's just super sensitive. The more embarrassed I got, the harder I kissed him. He panicked. Don't bite so hard. If you draw blood, we might switch again. I told my dad I was going back to the city to work as a tutor and brought Jason along. As the lush hills faded into urban sprawl from the bus window, he asked, "So, are you working hard so you can bring your dad to live in the city one day?" Yeah, no. No matter how nice the city is, old folks always feel most comfortable in the countryside. The young master suddenly looked defeated. Then what's the point? What else? Study hard, come back, and rebuild the village so everyone can live better. Not long after starting the tutoring job, I got my university acceptance letter, plus a 1 million yuan scholarship from the school, and a 10,000 yuan reward from the town. Jason bawled. Why didn't I get into the same college as you? Well, duh. With your grades, even a 211 school was a miracle. When his acceptance came, and he saw how far it was from mine, Jason was devastated. Ex-uni is that far? I refuse to do long distance. I checked the map. It's less than 4 kilometers. I can take the 307 bus and be there in 15 minutes. He instantly perked up. You'd come visit me. You already looked up the route? He. His smile was so silly it made me shy. What, you thought I wouldn't? Of course not, baby. I'll be the one visiting you. Then Jason happily called his parents. I got into a 211. Better prep the sports car. The day his parents came, I was sick of takeout and happened to cook 2 dishes and a soup. When Jason brought the food out of the kitchen, I scolded him. Why didn't you tell me earlier your parents were coming? I could have made more dishes. He just beamed. I didn't want you to tire yourself out. I pinched his waist, annoyed. Jason moaned. That feels good. This guy was such a perv. Why the hell was he always moaning? Jason's parents looked elegant and classy. I got a little nervous. Please, make yourselves at home. They were surprisingly warm. Of course, of course. While we ate, I accidentally glanced at Mrs. Smith's phone. She had snapped photos of the dishes I made and posted them on Xiaohongshu. Caption: First time meeting future daughter-in-law, and she served us this. Does she not like us? Turns out they were pretty chill parents. We don't interfere in his life. Kids need freedom. Can't live together with them. That's just no boundaries. Don't plan out their life. Don't place expectations. It's their journey. We brought him into this world so he could experience it. I was stunned and asked sincerely, "So, that's how you ended up raising a school tyrant?" Jason's dad started gulping water. Mrs. Smith dabbed her forehead with a saline handkerchief. Jason panicked. Hey! I've never broken the law, okay? I only fought for justice. People just randomly started calling me a school bully. His parents nodded. Yes, exactly that. I zeroed in on a key word. Looking for thrills? That's a 50-word reflection paper. Then, I realized there were others around. I added, "You're okay with that, right?" Jason cheerfully cleared the dishes. Totally. Only someone who loves me would care enough to scold me. His parents looked at me like I was a martial arts master. I helped wash up, too. As I passed the living room, Jason was arguing again. BMW! I want the BMW! His dad said. That car's not suitable. Mrs. Smith added. Son, sometimes you need to listen to your parents. But Jason went full spoiled prince. I don't care. No other car. I want a BMW. You two never cared about me growing up. Now you suddenly want to parent me? No one can control me, not even Grandpa. I chimed in. Whoever's paying gets the final say. Jason immediately folded. Okay. He turned to his parents. Up to you guys. A few days later, a 200 million yuan Pagani showed up. Jason grumbled. I told them I wanted to keep a low profile in college. A BMW was enough. But no, they had to buy this, I added Mrs. Smith on WeChat, intending to explain. Instead, she transferred me 10 million yuan. Message. Daughter-in-law, you really know how to train a dog. On Jason's 20th birthday, he got drunk. He's 6'3", and solidly built. It took several of his buddies to carry him home. Once they left, he started complaining it was hot, so I went to undress him. But as soon as I lifted a sleeve, he rolled like a log and stripped himself down in one smooth move. A lone, ultra-thin one condom just happened to drop onto his abs. My heart screamed, "It's a trap!" I tried to run, but a strong arm wrapped around my waist and yanked me back. At first, it was just cuddling, then kissing, and finally things spiraled out of control. I was sweating from the pain. "Stop! It hurts so much!" But Jason just kept coaxing me. "Just hang in there. We're both virgins. Why am I the only one who has to endure it?" So I bit his lip hard and arched my back. "Then you take the pain for me!" Jason teared up. "Isabel, you have no bedroom ethics." Watching the way his eyes glazed over, even I started to feel curious. Was it really that good? I gave him another bite, and boom, we switched back again. Gotta admit, that was divine. After that, Jason kept his mouth tightly shut the whole time and said, "From now on, we're using a bite guard." When the new semester started, I saw Tony again. His authoritative face once more ruled the campus. He became our uni's top heartthrob first generation. The female Jason must have trained him well, because he really developed a taste for being the side guy. I was reading in the library when he came over. "Your favorite strawberry shortcake?" I said. "No thanks. I'm not into sweets." Tony added, "It's fine. Your boyfriend's not here." "How often do you two see each other?" "Every day." "Things going well?" "Very well." Tony sighed. "Guess you won't be breaking up anytime soon." "I'll get in line then." I asked. "Line for what?" He suddenly broke. "You're putting me in the side guy slot again." When Jason came to visit me at school, he ran into Tony at Family Mart. He pointed at a row of strawberry desserts, full of nostalgia. "Big bro, can you buy me a little strawberry cake?" The elegant heartthrob was so disgusted he swore. "I'm finning jealous." During the school's internal evaluation exam, I ranked near the top and got selected for a national placement. After working a year at my assigned agency, I moved to a rural town to help revitalize the community. Whenever work got too stressful, I'd call Jason over to help me decompress. He always said I was too uptight and needed to loosen up, or I'd develop psychological issues. Then he'd pull out his electric tail plug, low-temp wax, MILF chest chain, and 3 boxes of ones. Truly, when the map ends, the dagger reveals itself. I'm a serious, restrained person, but Jason exudes this relaxed aura. He'd take me out to dinner, travel, enjoy life. We were happy together. He's simple-minded, handsome, obedient, but honestly, a bit too bottom-coded. Loves being controlled. He's a lazy boss who won't work unless I yell at him. Constantly threatens to go on strike. One good spanking and he's back to work. Always asking for it. Constantly pushing me to discipline him. During our 7-year itch, Jason swore he'd propose by launching drone fireworks over the Huangpu River. I told him to tone it down. President Jason, trying to drag me down with all that flash? The cold, aloof CEO in public turned into a clingy puppy in private. "Babe, when can we finally get married?" I said, "Give it another 2 years. Your family background's too heavy, it might affect my career advancement." Jason pushed my silver-rimmed glasses up and scolded me. "You're such a scumbag." I grabbed his tie and gave him a proper lesson. Gasping, I bit his lip. Asking for it again? I teased him with some little toys, pushing him to the brink but never delivering. Kneeling on the bed, his voice trembled. "Please, babe." When I heard the safe word, I smiled with satisfaction. Good boy. Later on, work stabilized. Jason's wholesome business also proved resilient. Only then did we finally get married. Even though I always threatened him, we'd only swapped bodies twice. Once was when I stubbed my big toe and ripped the entire nail off, searing pain, like a torture level maxed out. Jason took it for me. The second time was childbirth. That pain was on another level. "Jason, who usually had a high pain tolerance, broke immediately, screaming the safe word non-stop. His parents cried watching him. Poor baby's in so much pain, he's delirious. He keeps calling for his wife. After the baby was born, relatives asked me, "Want to try for a girl to complete the set?" Jason said nothing. He just picked up his phone and quietly booked a vasectomy. He didn't want me to suffer anymore. Said I was too clumsy and didn't take care of myself. He refused to switch back until my postpartum recovery was complete. He really nailed that postpartum month glowing skin. Slim waist looked better than before pregnancy. I couldn't help asking, "Did you actually enjoy being a woman?" Jason cursed me furiously, said he was throwing flirtatious looks at a blind person. "I made it so obvious, and you still didn't get it." "Get what?" "That you're just a full-on cross-dressing queen."